My name is Amina Odukoya. Don't shout Ojolowo.
Ojolowo! I have to shout everything.
And I am an award-winning marketer. I work for Barclaycard UK, and I also run 2 businesses on the side called Salve by Kira, again, shameless plug. And my other company is the Amity Project. And depending on how much you're willing to pay me, I do a bit of consulting on the side. So I'll sit with you and talk to you through how to manage your finances and potentially help you get out of debt. So what I've done for the purpose of today is I've created what I've called the 7-step marginal gains plan to help you manage your finances. Is anyone here familiar with the term marginal gains? Perfectly fine. So the concept of marginal gains is making small incremental adjustments to any process in life which adds up to a significant improvement. And the beauty of marginal gains is it cuts through every aspect of your life. So it could be something like increasing your productivity at work, or improving your health and lifestyle fitness, or even what I'll be talking about today, which is how to help you manage your finances. Next slide, please. So I put a little graph on there about marginal gains. If you make a 1% change in your life every day, and you keep doing that to the end of the year, you can see how the graph just slowly grows. So it's always about thinking about what little change can you make that will make a significant adjustment or improvement in your life. So the key learns I hope everybody can learn here today would be those 3 things. Understanding what debt is, understanding how to manage your finances, and obviously I'm going to talk you through how to implement the 7-step marginal gain plan. And the key to all of these leads me to step 1, understanding your expenses. If I ask anyone in the room here today to tell me exactly how much amount that they spent on a monthly basis, I can guarantee nobody can give me an exact figure. If you can, prove me wrong. You can? You can. Well done. So I don't mean like an average amount, the exact amount. Well done. So that's what I like to hear. If you cannot give an exact figure, then this is where I'm going to be here to help. The key to understanding your expenses is it gives you financial awareness. So it lets you see exactly how much that you're spending on a monthly basis. And the easiest way to understand your expenses is to track exactly how much that you spend. It's literally as easy as that. Start preferably when you get paid. So I'm sure everybody knows the day that they get paid. Start from that day. And you need to start keeping a track of every single thing that you spend your money on. Keep your receipts. If you take cash from a cash machine, keep all of that as well. And then at the end of your monthly cycle, you need to add all of that amount up, and that's going to be your figure for the month. Now, when you're doing this, you need to be careful not to add any emergency expenses that come up, because you're trying to make sure that your monthly expenses is a true representation of what you'll be spending on a month-to-monthly basis. And then this leads up to step 2. Understanding your income. If I go back to the very first question and I flip it and I tell anyone here to tell me exactly how much money that they earn on a monthly basis, I'm sure everybody can tell me how much your salary is, how much money you make in your business. It's funny, we all just do that little countdown to payday because we're excited, money's coming, but then, we don't know how much is going out of the account. If you go back to step 1 and deduct your expenses from your monthly income, if you end up with a positive figure, give yourself a round of applause. You could probably be saving more, and we'll get into that later. But then if you end up with a negative value, then I hate to tell you that you're probably rolling in debt on a monthly basis, and that's what we need to change. Which leads us to step 3. Creating and sticking to a budget. The key word, sticking to a budget. There's no point creating a budget if you're not going to stick to it, because you will just be deceiving nobody else but yourself. I really like budgeting because it helps you to create a spending plan for your money. And if you know me, Amanda can confirm, I'm that person. I like holidays just as much as the next person. And I plan my holidays, I kid you not, a year in advance. Amanda, when did you buy our tickets to Prague?
August last year.
Yeah,
wow.
We're going August this year. So and my holidays for next year, I'm already planning that already. So that's what budgeting helps you do. It helps you to create a spending plan for your money. And it lets you see exactly what you're spending your money on. Are you spending money on things that you want? You know, you want to go screw, you want to get the latest bag and wear the nicest shoes. Or are you spending money on things that you actually need? With budgeting as well, you need to be very realistic because again, the aim is to make sure you're creating a budget that you can stick to. And in the budgeting world, there's a sort of general 50-30-20 rule, where 50% of your income should go into your necessities, so things like your rent or your mortgage, your electricity bill, your internet. 30% should go to all your, the things that you want, your necessities, and 20% of that should go to your savings. So that's like a general rule. When you're doing your budgeting as well, you need to really make sure that you're putting things in there, your necessities first, because what's the point in going to buy a new handbag when your rent is due? Next slide, please. So, there are a range of budgeting tools that you can use. I personally use an Excel spreadsheet because it works for me, it works for my family. There's a great one called the Mint app, which you can download on your phone. And the way the Mint app works is it syncs to your online banking, and it sort of monitors your expenses, and it gives you like a graph, a pictorial representation of where you're spending your money. Another one that I really like is the YNAB app. It's called You Need a Budget. And I like that one because it also offers free online management and financial management classes. So you can literally sit down and learn more about how to manage your finances. If anybody wants, there's a great Excel spreadsheet that the moneysavingsexpert.com do, and I've got that saved somewhere. So if you want that at the end of the day, I can email it to you. And it's really, really detailed. You put in how much you earn every month, you put how much you spend on your rent, your insurances, all of that, and then 3 pages down, it tells you if you're in a positive value at the end of the month or a negative. So if anybody wants that, please just catch me at the end, and I'll be able to email that on to you. Now, this leads up to the next step. This is the one where a lot of my clients, this is where it starts to get real for everybody, because I'm like, we need to sit down now and remove unnecessary expenses. Number 1 on the top of that list, who here pays for a gym membership? When last did you actually go? Let's not deceive ourselves. I'm going to use myself as an example. Amanda and I used to go to the gym a few years back. We used to go dedicated month on month. We wouldn't miss it. And then one month we didn't go, and I was like, we'll go the next month. And I was like, we'll go the month after, and the month after. And I went a whole year paying £20 a month where I didn't even go to the gym at all. And I was like, yo, that's really bad. And when you think of it, £20 times 12 months is £240 that you could have been better off at the end of the year. Another one on the list, caramel macchiato people, lattes, Starbucks. You know yourself. Buying that every day adds up at the end of the month and then at the end of the year. There are a lot of alternatives that you can go for cheaper. You can buy your coffees, leave that at your desk. A lot of our offices would have kettles on there that you can make your own coffee. There you go. The worst one for me, buying breakfast and lunch every day. Look, I'll tell you a little story. I work in Africa in Stockton. Breakfast is really cheap. I will buy myself mushrooms, 2 poached eggs, a slice of toast. Everything costs £2. And every day in my head I'll be like, it's only £2. But then in a week it's £10. Times 52 weeks, that's £520 that I could have been saving. That's possibly like half of somebody's salary. Some people earn only about £1,000 a month, and I've spent that buying breakfast. Do a meal prep instead if you want. What works for me is whatever I'm having for dinner the night before, that's going to be my lunch for the next day. And it's really, really easy to make sandwiches, guys. Or get like the little tub of oats from Aldi, they're like 35 pence, you just put hot water in. So you really need to be thinking about the little things that you can change. You need to also be realistic with what you determine as unnecessary. So for example, for me, getting my nails done on a monthly basis is not an unnecessary expense. I had a client who, for her, she didn't see a need to get her nails done, she just did it herself at home, and she saved money that way. For somebody like me, I stopped paying people to come do my hair because I can just watch YouTube videos and get it done. Some people prefer to pay for their hair. So again, it's understanding what's actually unnecessary for you and making it personal to yourself. You need to remember, the whole point of marginal gains is making small, incremental adjustments which adds up to a significant improvement. Now, when it comes to removing unnecessary expenses, you need to also be thinking, the things that you're paying for, are you actually getting the best price or the best deal on that? I used to be with EDF Energy. I used to pay about £120 every month for my electricity and gas. Go and compare the market. It gives you, a range of people that will be giving the same service for much less. And I switched. And now I do this thing where every month I switch my providers, because there's always going to be somebody there that will offer you the exact same service for cheaper. So you really need to be on top of that. Things like your car insurance, you could probably get it cheaper. There are also websites that give you money for spending money. Who knows Top Cashback?
Oh yeah.
Please, that's go on to topcashback.com. It gives you money for spending money, especially if you're doing online purchases, sometimes even if you're switching insurances. And imagine saving all of that up and then taking that at the end of the year and locking that up in a savings account somewhere. So that's a good thing to think about again. While you're cutting off your necessary expenses, you need to make sure that you're also getting the best deal for the actual necessities that you're paying for on a monthly basis. Now, this is the next very, very important step. Everybody's afraid of this. Understanding your credit reports. I cannot stress this enough, because bad debt or bad credit markers can stay on your credit file for up to 6 years, and it could stop you from getting something even as little as a phone contract. I've had people being declined for phone contracts because the credit is really bad. You need to really be making sure that you're looking at your credit report. Check that all your information is up to date. Check your address histories are up to date. If you've been in, say, partnerships with people where you've got in joint loans or joint mortgages, you need to be checking that everything there is up to date. If you're not with that person anymore, has that been taken off your credit history? When you're looking at your credit filing as well, you need to make sure that you're not making use of more than 30% of the general credit available to you. So for example, if you've got, say, 2 credit cards and the limit on those 2 credit cards is £3,000, you need to make sure that on a monthly basis you're not spending more than £900, because it looks to lenders that you're in need of money, and then the worse off that your credit score is, the higher the interest rates that lenders will pose to you. So you're actually worse off if you've got more debt on there, because they see you as a liability, so they'll give you the highest interest rate. Because how credit card companies make money, and I really shouldn't be saying this, sorry boss, they make money off your interest rates. So if I pay my interest, if I pay my balance in full every single month, I'm a good person. But then the rest of you, not you specifically, the rest of the people who are not paying their balance in full, they're actually paying for me, who is paying in full.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how it works. So for example, if I got a credit card where the fee on there was, say, £32 every year, but then if I spend £6,000 or more yearly, I don't get to pay that fee. And then as long as I clear my balance in full every month, then I'm not incurring any interest. So I'm a very good person. So technically, they're not making any money off me. But then the next person who's spending all that money on the credit card monthly and paying only the minimum payment, imagine the amount of interest that they're incurring on there. So you need to be making sure and watching your credit utilization on your credit file. These are a few websites that I recommend that would help you look at your credit history, and they offer it for free. My personal favorite is clearscore.com. ClearScore is really great. It shows you a timeline of your expenses over the year. It tells you how many people that you've got credit filings open with, how much you pay, how much you owe. Another good one that I just discovered recently is Noodle, but there are a range of them out there. I believe Experian now offers a free service as well. You can go on there and they used to charge you about £15 a month before, but now it's free. But please, you need to make use of the resources that are out there, because I'm always on top of this. Every month I sit there and I look and I'm like, oh no, we need to take that off, we need to take that off. So always be on top of your credit filing, guys, because there is a lot of fraud out there as well. So I've had clients where people have impersonated them and then taken out credit cards and loans in their name, and then they're the ones who are bearing the brunt of it. So you need to be on top of that as well. This is another good one. It's not an important step for everybody. That's why I say consolidate your debt if necessary. it might not be necessary for you to consolidate your debt. And the reason why I say this is because if you've bought a sofa from DFS, or like a bed or a laptop, and they've given you a 0% interest loan, why would you want to consolidate that and then be paying interest on a bigger loan? It makes no sense. It might work if you've got a range of loans that you pay interest on, and then if you consolidate that to one loan, then the interest works out cheaper. Again, if you've got a range of credit cards, it might not be the smart option for you to then get a loan to pay that off. Go on clearscore.com and you could possibly do a balance transfer. A lot of credit cards offer 0% balance transfers. So if I've got card A with £1,000 debt on there, and the representative APR yearly is 19.9% variable, and I go on ClearScore and I do a balance transfer to card B, that offers me 0% interest for 22 months. Do that balance transfer. This is the important part. Cut up card A. Do not spend on the other card, because what are you going to be doing? You're going to be putting yourself in more debt. So again, consolidating your debt doesn't necessarily work for everyone. You need to really be looking at what's on your credit file. If consolidating doesn't work for you, a top tip that I always say is try to pay off your high interest loans first. Every loan, every credit card that you have would have a representative APR yearly. If you've got one with a 32.2% APR, which I think that's just a rip-off, pay that off first, and then work your way down towards all the other things that you're owing on, and then that way you can slowly clear out your debt. This is the final step. Increase your income. I don't know why everyone's laughing. It's actually a very good step. Get a side hustle. Turn your talent and your passion into a money-making scheme. Guys, this is the 21st century. People are making money off YouTube videos. People are making money off Instagram. Now, I understand that a side hustle might not necessarily work for everyone, but when last did you actually sit down with your line manager and negotiate a higher salary? People are afraid to negotiate a higher salary. Listen, I have this conversation with my manager at the end of every year. I'm like, mate, this is what I've done for you to make you look good. What can you offer me back? Because at the end of the day, we're doing a good job, so why aren't we being appreciated for that? So negotiate a higher salary. And if you can't do that, perhaps it's actually time for you to change your jobs. Again, that's something that a lot of people are always afraid of. If you pop your CV into like a CV online tool, it tells you what people who are in the same position as you, what they're earning in the market. Compare that. I think it's CV Online, I'm going to confirm that. So you pop your CV in there. So for somebody like me who's worked in sales all her life, if I pop that in there, you might say, for example, the average earning salary with somebody with my skills and experience would be, say, £40,000. If you're sat in a job where you're earning £25,000, mate, it's time to move. Because increasing your income is going to have you with a lot more money at the end. And if you've got debt, then you can pay that off. And if you don't, then you can save it. So this is just a next slide. This is just a recap of everything that we discussed today. Step 1, understanding your expenses, and then understanding your income. You need to create and stick to a budget, guys. Don't just think about creating that budget, you need to stick to it. And then you move on to the next step where you remove unnecessary expenses, or you find cheaper alternatives for the exact same level of service that you get. Understand your credit report, because that's something that's very big in the UK. People are not going to lend you money they think you're a liability when it comes to your credit filing. Consolidate your debt, but only if necessary. You need to be understanding if consolidating that debt is going to work for you, or if it's going to make you worse off. So you need to look at everything that you're owing and then work out what's best. Or, holler at me for a tiny fee, I'll help you out. Yeah. And then lastly, work your way towards increasing your income. Do not be afraid to take that plunge and make a change. It's something that I really struggled with in the beginning of my career, because I used to think, I'm just doing my job, like there's nothing more that I'm doing except my job. But actually, I realized compared to the next person, I'm bloody exceptional. So now I shout about it for anybody that cares to listen at work, because I'm doing a good job and I'm not going to shy away from that. And I'm going to make sure that that makes me get a higher salary, or a higher bonus, or even if I'm swapping jobs. It's just, you need to own it. Own yourself, guys. Be good. Thank you.